Arjun's chariot in the Mahabharata war, as per the Garuda Purana, was called Nandighosha. And it was an extraordinary chariot made completely out of gold, with a story behind it that is equally, if not more, extraordinary. A vast forest burned down, a god humbled, crafted by a divine being. As the winds of war gathered over Kurukshetra, two royal princes approached the Supreme One, Lord Krishna of Dwarka. Though the war drums had not yet sounded, the scent of battle already filled the air. In this tense prelude to the great Kurukshetra war, two warriors of royal blood, Duryodhana of the Kauravas and Arjuna of the Pandavas, made their way to Dwarka, seeking the aid of none other than Krishna, the Lord of the Yadavas. Duryodhana, ever eager and determined, arrived first and took his place near the head of Krishna's resting couch. Arjuna entered moments later and with humility befitting his spirit, sat reverently at Krishna's feet. The Lord, immersed in divine slumber, lay between them, unaware of either of them near him. When Krishna opened his eyes, his gaze naturally fell upon Arjuna, who sat at his feet in devotion. Duryodhana, realizing that he must act quickly, spoke first, and he reminded Krishna that he had arrived first and thus deserved the first choice. But Krishna, smiling with calm divinity, said, "Yes, Duryodhana, you came first, but I saw Arjuna first, and according to dharma, the younger must be given precedence in such matters." Then Krishna offered a choice. "To one of you I shall give you my vast Narayani Sena, the undefeated Yadava army. To the other I offer myself alone, unarmed, as a mere charioteer. I shall not raise a weapon in this war." The choice now lay before Arjuna. Without hesitation, Arjuna bowed low and said, "O Madhava, I choose you. Your presence is my strength. Let the army go to Duryodhana. I desire only you as my charioteer." So it was that Duryodhana, pleased beyond measure, departed with the formidable Narayani Sena, believing he had won the greater prize. But Arjuna had chosen the eternal. He had chosen the soul of dharma itself, and in that choice the fate of the war was already being shaped. When the war began, Arjun stood tall upon his celestial chariot with Krishna at the reins. Before him loomed the colossal force of the Kauravas, stalwarts like Bhishma, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Karna, Ashwatthama. Arjuna's chariot, Nandighosha, was no mere vehicle. It was a divine construct of solid gold drawn by four magnificent horses, Sabya, Sugriva, Meghapushpa and Balahaka. Like Agni, the god of fire, it was not bound by earth alone. It could traverse Bhumi, the entire earth, Akash, the skies, and even Patal, the netherworld. It moved as the soul commands, thought, freely, fiercely, without restraint. Warriors beheld it in awe, mesmerized by its grandeur and sacred aura. But its origin was a tale that was veiled in fire and sacrifice. Long before Kurukshetra, Krishna and Arjuna were once wandering through the sacred expanse of Khandavavan, which was beside the Yamuna river. Arjun, immersed in serenity, remarked, "This forest brings peace to my spirit. I would like to go there and do more tapasya." Just then, a weary man appeared, frail and trembling. Arjun, moved by compassion, approached him. "I am Agni," the being revealed. His flame is now dim. "I hunger, O Dhananjaya. I am born to consume, yet whenever I attempt to devour this forest teeming with life, Lord Indra rains down upon me and quenches my flames. He sends so much rain that I can do nothing, and I grow weak. Help me, Dhananjaya." "Why does Indra oppose you?" asked Arjuna. "Takshak, the serpent king, dwells here under Indra's protection." Agni answered, "They are friends. He thwarts me to preserve Takshak's abode." Arjuna replied, "To challenge Indra is no small task. He bears celestial weapons. But with Krishna beside me, I shall stand unfaltering." Agni nodded. "Fear not. I shall summon Varuna, and together we shall empower you." Varuna emerged, radiant as the ocean's crest, and gifted Arjuna the divine Gandiva, a bow of unmatched strength, and with it an inexhaustible quiver. To this, Agni added the chariot Nandighosha, its gold gleaming like the sun's breath. This chariot had been made by none other than the divine architect and master craftsman Vishwakarma after severe ascetic meditation. Its splendor, like that of the sun, was so great that no one could gaze at it. It was the very chariot from which the Lord Somadeva had defeated the Danavas. Thus armed, Arjun stood beside Krishna as Agni ignited the forest. Indra, on seeing this, was enraged and unleashed torrential rain with his thunderbolt, Vajra Yudha. But Arjuna, swift as thought, shot arrows that wove a roof in the sky, a dome of defense. His astras countered every blow, and soon Agni feasted, his strength restored. Takshak fled with his son Ashwasena, but his wife perished in the flames. The serpent prince Ashwasena would later return in vengeance at Kurukshetra. As the battle between Lord Indra and Arjuna raged, a voice thundered from the heavens, "O Indra, cease! The ones before you are Nar and Narayan in human form. You shall not prevail." Before I continue, let me tell you that these stories that I bring to you come from belief, folklore, and tradition. Some from ancient holy texts, others that have been retold over time. My aim is to share the magic, not to do a scholarly debate on manuscripts. Listen with your heart and immerse yourself in the small corner of spirituality and wonder, a refuge from an online world that often feels too materialistic and harsh. Indra, hearing this, bowed, and peace returned. Thus was the chariot forged, baptized in fire, tested by gods, destined for glory. Yet Krishna knew it would need more, for what was wrought in fire must now be fortified by devotion. And that protection came not from Arjuna, but from his brother Bhima. Quite some time back, in a forest far to the south, Bhima once wandered alone in search of a divine flower for Draupadi. There, blocking his path, lay an old weathered monkey with his tail stretched wide across the forest floor. "Move, O Vanar," Bhima commanded. "Your tail blocks the path of a warrior." The monkey looked up with serene eyes and said, "I am old and weary. I do not have the strength. Please move it yourself, O mighty one." Bhima, son of Vayu and strongest of men, smirked and reached for the tail. But it would not budge. He pulled harder, strained with all his might, but the tail remained unmoved. Sweat gathered on his brow. Then he stepped back, realizing he was in the presence of someone far beyond mortal. "Reveal yourself, O Vanar," Bhima said, folding his hands. The monkey rose and assumed a towering form that split the sky with its magnificence. "I am Hanuman, son of Vayu, your elder brother." Bhima bowed in awe. Hanuman, pleased with Bhima's humility, blessed him. "In the war to come, I shall be present to protect the Pandavas. I will ride the banner of Arjuna's chariot, unseen yet ever watchful. My presence will shield you from weapons mortal and divine." And so it came to pass that during the Mahabharata war, the flag atop Arjuna's chariot bore the image and essence of Lord Hanuman, and it was called the Kapidhwaj. Though invisible to the eyes of men, Hanuman sat above, his might guarding Arjuna and Krishna as they rode into the heart of destiny. With the mighty Vanar above and the Supreme One at the reins, Arjuna's Rath became an unstoppable force. When the war ended, the field was a graveyard of great heroes. The mighty Bhishma lay silenced, Drona had fallen, Karna lay still, and the Kaurava army was no more. Only Dhritarashtra and Gandhari remained to mourn the fallen 100 sons. Krishna drove the chariot to a quiet place and said, "Arjuna, descend quickly." Arjuna obeyed. Krishna then called upon Hanuman to depart from the banner. The moment Lord Hanuman withdrew, a thunderous explosion engulfed the chariot, reducing it to ashes. Arjuna turned stunned. "Madhava, this divine chariot, which withstood every onslaught, how has it perished so suddenly?" Krishna, his gaze infinite, answered, "Arjuna, during the war, this chariot was struck by many celestial astras, each more lethal than the last. Hanuman bore the brunt, shielding you from destruction. When Karna unleashed the Nagastra, the chariot sank under my feet, saving your life. Without Hanuman above and me within, the chariot would have perished long ago." And thus ended the tale of the chariot, not in battle but in release. Its ashes were sacred, for they bore witness to divine purpose fulfilled. Forged in fire, sealed by devotion, guided by the Supreme and protected by Lord Hanuman, the chariot of Arjuna was not merely a vehicle of war, but the throne of dharma rolling upon the earth. In this retelling of our Itihasa, we also find timeless guidance for our own battles. Arjuna's choice to forego visible strength of an entire Yadava army and instead anchor himself to dharma, to truth, to presence over power, choosing Krishna as his charioteer, reminds us that in life's fiercest struggles, what we stand with matters more than what we stand against. We may not ride golden chariots or face armies, but each day we face doubt, desire, fear, and injustice. And in those moments, may we choose not just the mightiest path, but the right one, guided by wisdom, protected by faith, and carried forward by purpose. For just as Arjuna's chariot was shielded by devotion and divine grace, so too can we move through life's battlefield, resilient, grounded, and aligned with a deeper truth that the choices we make are as important as victory itself. Do like, share, and subscribe to Mythical Lights, because that is what drives us to create these inspiring videos. Until next time.